Today I channeled a message for you and I drew some cards from the Urban Crow Oracle deck at the very end of the message. So what we're going to do is I channeled this message earlier today. I wrote it all down on a lot of paper. Some water spilled on it, which was also part of the message. This was actually water and oil. And so I'm just going to read to you what came through from your guides for this collective for the highest good. And then we're going to get into the card reading. Now, I pulled the cards earlier as part of this energy, but I'm going to interpret and read them now. Okay. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm Brandy Fleck. I'm host of the Human Amplified podcast. I'm a Reiki practitioner, a certified trauma-informed coach, and a manager of a holistic wellness center in Middle Tennessee. I really like to tap in to spirit and see what kind of messages they have for the collective. So I'm excited to bring this to you today. If you haven't already, subscribe. Browse around the Human Amplified channel because there are a ton of resources just to help you be who you are in your life in all sorts of areas of life, from spirituality and metaphysical areas all the way to society and culture, relationships, personal development, health and wellness. It's all here for you to help you be who you are. I love helping you embrace your true self, your true path, and shining your light in the world. So all that being said, subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and let's get into it. So to start the process, I put breathe oil, and it's doTERRA breathe oil and patchouli oil into a bowl of water so that I could scry. And that bowl of water is still, it's right here. And the first thing that came through was I saw a duck. According to spiritanimals.com, a duck wants you to take notice of your surroundings. There's a new opportunity available to you that you must move quickly on so that your new ideas can take flight. I accidentally spilled the water and oil, which didn't get on the paper yet, but then it became an eye with the bowl. The bowl was the iris, and the water and the oil looked like the pupil and like light reflected off the iris. And I got from that you are to take notice, not just with your physical eyes, but your third eye. Take notice of your spiritual surroundings as well. I sensed that when you do this, you can take stock of where you need to clean house or add some additional layers of protection. This will allow you to focus on this new opportunity and these new ideas, okay? Also, my cat just came in here. You might hear her. Somebody made the comment in one video that she was distressed, but just so you guys know, she's 19 years old. I've had her since she was a baby, and sometimes she's starting to experience dementia and some older cat end of life type disease like kidney disease and thyroid disease. So sometimes she comes in and it's almost like she doesn't know where she's at, and she makes these little meows, but I promise you she's fine. Hi baby. Yes. She's doing really well for her age, okay? She's had a good life. Come here. You see her? Look. What do you see? Oh. She's had a good life. Yeah. And now since we have a little break in me reading this, I also want to tell you, take what resonates. This is a collective reading, so everything in it might not apply to you. If it doesn't, that's okay. Leave it. There are parts of this message that you can take. Use your intuition, as always. Don't make any important decisions based on a tarot reading or an oracle card reading or a channeling that you see online. Use your own discernment. All of that good stuff, okay? So now, let me get back into it. Okay, so I continued scrying, and a massive tree was sort of like an oak tree, also the tree of life, with a beating heart beneath it in the roots showed up. Then it cleared out very quickly, and the imagery shifted to a grassy hill with sky and clouds on the horizon. The earth and sky then switched places. So this reminded me of underworld vibes coming to the surface. The Divine Mother came in to the imagery after that and embraced you during this time. So some shadow work may be on the horizon, but you're supported with nurturing divine feminine energy, okay? So the Divine Mother in this imagery sort of watched you in the womb, and you were outside of her and in front of her, and she's looking at you, but there's an umbilical cord that keeps you tethered to her, grounded and safe, okay? So you are safe to explore the void, this dark place, and bring something from it into the light, into your consciousness, and integrate it into this lifetime to use as a strength. And she is here to support you doing that. The womb here represents the space, the spiritual space called the void. The void is a place where it's like the 0 point of creation. All things are possible in the void. The void is not bad. It's not empty. It's black, but it's completely full and moldable and malleable and contains building blocks of manifestation, okay? So just like the womb, you're developing in the dark. Shadow work helps you develop in the dark. You need both dark and light for the creation process. And then I heard the phrase, it's all for you, this life. So the Divine Mother wants to come in now, and I wrote, let's see what she has to say. And so this was her directly speaking, and she said, yes, this life is all for you. Whew. Sorry guys, I'm getting over a cold and my nose is a little bit stuffy, so sorry. Anyways, the Divine Mother said, yes, this life is all for you. His life is for you. Do the things you've been thinking about over and over. Do the things you've been dreaming of. Dreams aren't only for sleeping. In fact, if you only sleep on dreams, you will not fulfill your soul purpose. Doesn't she sound just like a mom? A nice mom, anyway. Your soul purpose is not a soul purpose. You can have more than one. You are multi-dimensional and multifaceted, like a beautiful gemstone forged by the fires of earth. Fire is important. It is to be respected and used in balance. Balance fire with water. Stoke it with air and earth. Moderate it with earth and water. Working with the elements is yours to do, yours to learn now, my child. So at this point, I notice a sparkling red dot in my scrying water, and this represents the spark within you that you can nurture. It's for you to find, for you to identify, and for you to bring to the surface. You have a spark within you that is waiting to be found, okay? So maybe you've been feeling a little numb, maybe you've been feeling bored, or like life is just a little dull. Maybe it's lost its luster, you know? But it won't always be that way, and it doesn't have to be that way, and that spark still lives within you, okay? It's there. It's there. Then the Divine Mother continues. The surface can be murky at times, clear at others, but you must try. You will succeed because you must. What is the other option but to keep going in circles until you do succeed? And this, my friends, she's talking about karma, because if you just go in circles and go in circles, that's going to follow you for lifetimes and lifetimes until you break that karmic loop, okay? So why not succeed? Why not break that cycle in this lifetime is what she's saying. Now is the time. You have the spark, you have the capability, you can do it, okay? And you are supported. That's beautiful. So then the wind blew really swiftly. A cicada broke the silence, and then it quieted. Then I felt the need to invite in more benevolence, so I relit some Palo Santo and let the wind carry it where it needed to go. And then I asked the Divine Mother, what is this soul purpose that you speak of now? And she said, the spark within. Okay, so it'll be different for everyone. I took that as that you must work to surface it. She reiterated that message. There's something about divine timing that did come up though about this. Everyone's timing for their spark to surface might vary person to person. Only you'll know, and you have to do the work to find it, to surface it, to cultivate it. Work with the elements, okay? So another spirit guide then stepped forward to talk about shadow work, or so I thought. I guess this is guidance around shadow work that your guides want you to do along with the Divine Mother. And I asked Spirit, what do you want this collective to know about the shadow work that lies ahead for them? And then the wind stilled as I was outside, and what came through is that ritual magic can be a potent and calming way to invite yourself back to the party. And I was like, invite yourself back to the party. That doesn't sound like Divine Mother or whatever. This was definitely a different guide, but that phrase, invite yourself back to the party, was really prominent and it repeated several times. So I don't know who that's for, but that is for somebody. Invite yourself back to the party, honey. Okay? Life is a party anyways, right? Like, it's all for us. It's all for us. At this point, they wanted me to tell you my personal thoughts on ritual now, okay? Because ritual is how you can invite yourself back to the party. In other words, how you can feel more like yourself, how you can be more involved, how you can find maybe a group of people who have similar values, just to maybe help you find that spark, relight that spark. Find something within you that has been smoldering and has been trying to come up. Ritual will help you do that. Probably because that form of work resonates with who you are and your lineage. And let's get into it. I'm going to honor what Spirit wanted, and I'm going to tell you just my thoughts on ritual. These aren't organized in a teaching fashion, but hopefully you can stick with me. So ritual kind of formalizes actions you can take to make changes in your life. A ritual is repeatable. It's following an order of steps to get to an outcome, okay? That's a ritual. Following a recipe is a practical example of a ritual. And I mean, cooking can really be magic when you think about it. Think about all those potions, those cauldrons, those soups, those tonics that heal you. It's all ritual, okay? It's great. It's great. Ritual connects you to traditions and lineages and magic that are your birthright, that run in your DNA. Because ritual can be done over and over and also uses items and elements in addition to intention. The effects can be more amplified, so stronger than mere thought. Because it can be done over and over, there's a stability and a consistency and an old world ancient wisdom that you're calling on and remembering and tapping into when you work with ritual. The repeatability and calm, the cyclical, it reminds me of the cyclical nature of Earth, the seasons, the moon cycles, all can even calm your nervous system with the predictability of it. Okay, so it can be a very grounding tool because we're here on Earth. This is part of the magic of being on Earth, is ritual and the tools that are available to us and the resources that are available to us that assist in the process. You can get creative with ritual, and you can definitely make your own, right? So there's an order to the steps you take in a ritual. When you use rituals as a tool to manifest, you're oftentimes working with symbolism, and it allows you to become more connected to the earth, Gaia, mother energy, because the tools available to you are typically spices, herbs, elements with properties you can learn about as you go. And each of the properties influence the outcome or the energies that affect the ritual you're doing. A ritual doesn't have to be ceremonial or super formal or complicated, but it can be. And then I want you to know that doing ritual magic can backfire or won't work if your intentions aren't pure and aligned with spirit and what it is that their job is to support, okay? So even though a ritual is repeatable, there are always differences in outcomes. Say you make moon water this month, and again next month, you repeat the steps. So there's comfort and predictability there. And you know that you'll have moon water at the end of the night, but the moon has different properties depending on where it is in space and time. So if the properties of an ingredient change, there is subtle unpredictability always as part of ritual too, okay? Both sides of the coin. It's a very balanced thing. And by the way, if you want to make moon water, and you've never done it before and you're curious about that, it's either here or here. It's here or here. There's a guide that you can go to learn all about that. It's very fun. And I highly recommend it. But okay, so say you're making, for example, broccoli rice casserole. And I don't know why I picked that dish, but that's just what came to mind when I was channeling this message. If you put cheese on top, if you use a different type of cheese than you're used to, or even a different brand of the same cheese that you're used to, it'll still taste slightly different each time you make it. But it's still the same thing. It's still broccoli rice casserole with cheese on top. So such is the nature of ritual work. Now, your guides want to talk about the importance of cooking. So they just want you to know that cooking is an alchemical process that uses the fire element. Fire transforms the ingredients into something new. And this actually takes me back to the beginning of the message when we were talking about how you are a gemstone forged in the fires of earth, right? It's an alchemical process. Cooking happens with heat, and it's a very important process that you can use as well. I think the reason this is coming up is because that is the alchemical process in shadow work, okay? Like there is pressure, there is darkness, there is ultimately transformation, and you can make something powerful and good and meaningful from it, okay? So then suddenly a message came in about perspective shifting. I heard look at things from different angles, and I think this goes back to the shadow work too, and I wanted more information there. And then I heard get up on the high road, the high point, the lookout spot to get a bigger picture view or a bird's eye view. And this has come through in a couple of readings I've done before for this collective, is you always need several different perspectives and vantage points in order to learn a whole lesson or a lesson fully. And I've been doing videos and blogs on past life work recently, and so I want to mention that here because that type of work can give you lots of different vantage points, okay? So if you've ever been curious about that, go check out everything you need to know about a past life regression, or even watch some of the past life regressions that I did that are really cool. So in one of them, I was a desert shaman who had taken a vow of silence. And so I was a spiritual leader for my community. And that one, I actually recorded the entire hypnosis process. So if you want to see like behind the scenes about like what a past life regression would actually be like, that's the one that you'll want to watch. And then recently I attended a group past life regression a couple of weeks ago and just did a video on just telling you what happened, and the star-crossed lovers theme and sort of archetype came out, and I saw how it played out in a past life and also my present life, and it was really interesting. So you could check that out too, because if you do that type of work, you can definitely get different vantage points, and way faster than if you are, say, just trying to sit on your own and think outside the box, probably, especially if you're stuck in that creation process, or stuck in a box. Not not literally stuck in a box. I hope you're not stuck in a box, but okay, now y'all know. Sing the song with me. I can't say it here. I'm not going to say it here. You know what I'm thinking? Okay. Let me know if you know what song I'm thinking about. But okay, so the bird's eye view phrase from Spirit prompted me to pull cards from the Urban Crow Oracle deck, which I mentioned earlier, and a couple of things happened. So number 38 came out, protection. This caught my eye from the bottom of the deck. So this is about the shadow, the foundation of the main message that we'll dive into with the other three cards that came out. So we had protection. And this is really interesting. These cards have never come out before when I've used this deck. So this is a new energy. And then so protection was the foundation, the shadow portion of the spread. Then we got caching, insight, and commitment. And if you study all of these cards, which I'll show you the full layout in just a second so you can see them all together as I pulled them earlier today when I was outside channeling this message, there are these little seed-like granules that are in every single one of these cards. And the birds are doing something different with those granules in every single one of these cards. And I say granule, but in the protection card, it's an egg. Then in the caching card, there are seeds being buried in the ground. In the insight card, there is like a seed being dropped into a mason jar. So I don't know if it's being preserved in some way, stored, carried somewhere else in some way, but there's a theme of storage, caching, saving. And then the last card that came out was commitment, and two birds are two crows, beautiful crows, are sharing these seeds. Okay, so I don't know if they saved them for a later time. I don't want to get into, like, it just crossed my mind that we could be talking about, like, doomsday prepping or something like that, but I don't really think we need to get into doomsday prepping, even though it probably, I'm not saying that we need to doomsday prep. It's always good to have a little backup of something, a cache of food stored literally in your life. Hey, kitten. Hey there. It's okay. We're good. We're good, yes. I don't know if you can hear her. But what we're really talking about, she's knocking the little table. I have this phone on, sorry. What we're really talking about is in relation to shadow work and cooking and alchemy and transformation and how this life is yours. And so this is I think we're gonna dive deeper into that. So just looking at the rest of what I wrote down when I was channeling earlier, it says, I get the main theme here, or the central message here is that you might be self-sabotaging, or there is something that is trying to sabotage your efforts. It could be internal for some and external for others, although Spirit is saying even if it's external, we need to deal with something internally so that the external issue will resolve. So this is validation. It's repeating the message from Divine Mother earlier about uncovering the spark, surfacing what you need to surface. And there might be a lot going on there. So now let's get into the cards. With this protection card being at the foundation of the message that's coming through, it's like you have something within you that is worth protecting. It needed to be protected because it was so special. And I get the sense that even though protection is still great, spiritual protection, energetic boundaries, things like that are still needed in everyday life to, not leak your energy, to not let not let people drain you of your energy or your resources. But at the same time, it's okay to not be as protected, right? Like you have buried cached, saved, cached as in like CACHE, like a browser cache. You have saved a lot of this special part of you for only a select few people. And you've been burned by showing this part of you to people you've cared about in the past. And so this has you not wanting to embrace this part of yourself anymore. The thing is that it's time, and it's time. The world needs you. The world needs to see this part of you. You need to surface this part of you and able to be who you truly are in this lifetime. And being who you truly are in this lifetime is a gift. Nobody else can be you. Nobody. And like, what are we worried about? Are we worried about what other people think? Because we're not living for them, are we? And if we deny ourselves from being who we truly are just because somebody else has a negative opinion about it, we are cutting our gifts off from the world, because there are so many people who won't have a negative opinion about it, who won't take advantage of that part of you, who need to see that they can also surface parts of themselves to be who they truly are, because that's how we change the world, okay? That is how we change the world, one person at a time. We love ourselves so much and so strongly. We nurture ourselves and hold ourselves in space. We hold space for who we are so firmly and stably that it doesn't matter if someone doesn't like who we are. It's not up to them. And honestly, people can only meet you where they're at. They can only go as deep as they've gone within themselves. And people do a lot of projecting when they judge other people, right? So like the person who's judging you, I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, it's about them. It's always about them more than it is about you, even if they don't know that. Okay? And so it's okay to let that part of yourself that you've buried surface. It's okay. And I guess where the shadow work comes in is that you have Spirit's blessing. You have Spirit telling you that you are protected and you can go into the void. You can face the shadow. You can shine light and spread love on it. And then you can bring it into your awareness. And then you can integrate that into your everyday life. And that's like, I'm not getting a lot of specifics about that. So again, that's going to be different. What that is going to be different for everybody. And I think that's as far as Spirit is taking us there. So the next part of this message is all about the fruits of doing that, okay? You're going to have people come into your life that will be committed to you, that you will want to commit to. And even though there will be ups and downs, because all relationships have them, it will be a healthy relationship with equal give and take. Giving and receiving might be out of balance right now until you do this shadow work, until you surface something that's in the dark, okay? There's a beautiful nest in the future. There's happiness, there's sharing. This equal give and take is so important, right? So this can represent like relationships in your real life no longer draining you, but also I'm getting the sense that whatever you surface from the subconscious will help you balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine in your life. So your ability to receive will be equally matched with your ability to give and to move forward in the world. You'll know how to move forward and go get things in a healthy way. And you'll know when to share those things. And then you'll be able to discern when it's time to save those things or keep those things for yourself or save them for a rainy day or prepare for the future. You'll feel more comfortable accepting help from others because it will not feel imbalanced. You will be able to know when you heal this wound, when you do this shadow work, you will then be able to know that the past doesn't have to have a hold on you, okay? Whatever karmic cycle you've been going through in the past that's there, you'll see the way out. You'll see how to break the cycle. And it's interesting because we have this circular nest energy here, energy imagery here. We have a circular nest imagery with the egg sort of here. This one's more made of feathers, but it reminds me of a nest, which is circular, right? So we've got that repeating type of imagery. The things that these crows are saving are sort of circular. And then we've got the circular mouth of the jar. There's all this circular imagery. And when you break a cycle, it's not that the circle goes away. It's that it becomes more dimensional. It becomes a spiral. So in the way that you're looking at it now or experiencing it now feels like a never-ending circle. But that circle, when you ascend to a different dimension of existence by healing, or if you want to use the terminology jumping timelines, you turn the circle on its side and you can see from a different vantage point that it's actually a spiral. And you can spiral up, you can spiral down, you can spiral to the side. It's very interesting how it goes, but it then becomes a different journey. Yeah, a journey of ascension. You are ascending. Oh my goodness. This shadow work is the key to ascending to the next circle on the spiral. And how that looks in life is better relationships, a better relationship with yourself, a better relationship with your past, present, and future. And I just think this is really sacred work that you're doing. And I'm so excited that the Divine Mother came in and is nourishing you, is an example of how you can nourish yourself through this work and this journey. And I think that's it. So let me know what it is you're trying to surface. I'm so curious because it's so different for everybody. So if you feel like commenting, leave a comment. What resonated? What's happening here? Okay? Yeah. I love you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. And if you don't mind, like and subscribe. Okay.